Let's kind of refresh our minds while we are here. It's about the Petroleum Industry Act. It was signed into law on August 16, 2021. And as we all know, the whole aim is to establish good governance, best practices, and ease of doing business in the oil and gas sector, and to make sure community stakeholders are educated and they have greater insight about these things.
How do we intend to take our decisions? Is it by voting and simple agreement like that?
However, I said no because there is a greater number of HCDT represented in this group. And so if you go by number counting, you'll find they will always take the day.
We were supposed to be meeting quarterly, which meant that we will have needed to meet 8 times. Okay? That's what is programmed.
It would be better for me, let's have Port Harcourt as our center for all the meetings. So it is more easier for us to access. I would think that equity and fairness would mean other stakeholder groups ceding, a longer end of the stick to this historically exploited and marginalized group. There was a deliberate reason why we couched 15 members of the HCDT, because the Bridges project premised on stakeholder within the community's engagement. That's the basis of this project.
But again, looking at the activities of that 5%, you need to take care of your the BOT, the MC, the AC, and other valuable community structure and your secretariat. You now discover that the 5% may not be enough.
We have this problem of going backward and forward. In terms of, we now have to say, okay, there were questionnaires that were developed that we couldn't answer the questions.
How do we make the HCDTs regulations on developing a community development plan actually responsive in an environment that is very dynamic?
We have gone through the language, we have had agreement on the language. We have also said that the language should be embedded in the charter. We will set up a WhatsApp group. And we will use that opportunity to address ideas for the next meeting, idea generally by the work of the platform. We have also agreed that our next meeting will be Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. And all our meetings will be in the Port Harcourt. We make provision for people to join online. We can come, but we encourage everybody to be physically present at
In a way, this is also a capacity building. To some extent, you can also refer to that. And so that is exactly what we have come here for, and that is what PIND represents. It's ESCO. ESCO in any organization is to go about the administration of any organization. And so they are to be saddled with the responsibility of creating administrative functions. PIND is not new beginners. I have dealt with PIND far back some years ago. So I know their credibility, I know their what, I know what they can do. And so PIND has been a very perfect people.
The PIA Chapter 3 is a fantastic concept. It is a realization of the dreams of a lot of people. Everyone has been really worried about the state of the Niger Delta, and this is the first time that the development has actually been moved into the hands of the people. They will now take responsibility for their own development. You need to take ownership, and that places the onus on you to understand the process, understand the law, what the law is saying, what the PIA is saying.
It's an idea, an initiative of PIN Foundation, that's partnership initiatives in the Niger Delta, the foundation and the Ford Foundation. And it's about focusing on how to enable the Petroleum Industry Act, the Chapter 3 that deals with community relations, how it can succeed well in the Niger Delta, is to help them understand models that have worked in doing what they are being asked to do. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel, they don't have to dissipate energy, but the act is very specific on how you identify projects, how you execute them, how they will be monitored, and all of that.
It's a collaboration between PIN's Foundation and Ford Foundation. All of the key processes are there, and it is left for all stakeholders to adhere to the processes.
When you look at countries that have developed, it's important for them to lay foundation for that development. The drivers of this one are the people that are really affected. The drivers of the HCDT are the community members themselves. So they are in the driver's seat as far as their community is concerned. So we think there's a huge chance, if properly guided, if properly assisted, if proper foundation is laid, I think there's a huge chance that this time, this one will succeed.
My major takeaway is that despite the failings of the Petroleum Industry Act, there are still a whole lot of opportunities for forging cohesion within these communities, for delivering social and economic benefits to community stakeholders. I think it is a welcome development. It creates an opportunity to proactively address conflict, and it also enables these host community stakeholders to regain that sense of ownership of the development process in their communities. PIN has been here since, I think, 2010, and they have done a lot of work in terms of midwifing development processes across the Niger Delta.